Welcome to the stream, bombers. Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. Got a couple of my colleagues with me today. We got Mo, we got Dan, aka Hanford, and we got Riley.
What's up, everybody?
How are you all doing?
All right, let's get into it. So, before we get into the questions this week, let's talk a little bit about the cross-chain stuff that was announced Monday. You can see on my screen here, I've got the Synapse bridge loaded up. So this is, until we build this into our UI, this is where people will go to move BOM between different chains. So, basically BOM is going to be in the list here, and you're simply going to pick one of the other chains that we support, which is going to be Avalanche, Aurora, Phantom, and Polygon initially, and we may launch in other chains afterwards. We will have on Aurora some good partnerships right out of the gate, and we're going to be actively seeking partnerships with DEXs and different protocols on the other chains. So that's pretty exciting that we should have up and running very soon. I guess there's not really that much to talk about in terms of the bridge until I could actually demo it. But what do you guys think about the cross-chain capabilities coming?
Yeah, are we still waiting for? We're still waiting for that to actually launch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know they said that it was going to be pretty soon.
Yeah, like I've told the community, like let's call it Monday next week.
Okay.
But
yeah.
From what I've been told, though, it likely should have been up by now, or like it should be up very, very soon.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. It'd be cool.
Yeah, hopefully soon get a lot more buy pressure on BOM from different platforms.
Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
Because I mean, those pools and all those incentivized pools are on the other chains. I mean, they're going to be paying a fixed number of rewards. So until there's a certain amount of assets there, the APR is going to be through the roof, right? So it's going to only make sense to, bring BOM there and farm it, right? And the only way to do that is to buy BOM, bridge it, and
take it over. Yep. Awesome. Yeah, when these there'll be a lot of FOMO when these new farms come out. A lot of FOMO, I think.
Oh yeah, 100%. And every single partnership we get is just gonna, more demand on BOM, and I really feel it's gonna let us, print consistently. And between that and xBomb being, when we're consistently printing, even without the promotion we have running, xBomb is gonna be paying incredibly well. So, I mean, there's just gonna be so many great places to lock up your BOM or to utilize your BOM that, it doesn't really matter how much the sellers are in effect. I don't think it's gonna impact our ability to print.
Yeah, and to reiterate that as well, what you said before is we're only going to have one printer, and that's going to be on the smart chain, Binance Smart Chain, nowhere else.
Yeah, it's good that you brought that up. Yeah, because I guess a lot of other Tomb forks that have gone cross-chain, they implement their whole protocol on other chains, which has multiple printers, and now they have multiple copies of their share token, and their primary token is being printed on multiple chains, which just dilutes it like crazy. And we won't ever do anything like that. So we want our assets to be scarce to hold their value for our existing investors and new investors. So
for sure,
we're always doing everything to keep that value up.
Just a recipe for disaster if you start printing on lots of different platforms and things.
Exactly. And also, just to add to that, like, most people are probably aware, but any BOM that's on another chain is going to be BOM that is not on BSC. So, we're not minting any new BOM. So when BOM is minted on another chain, it's taken out of circulation on BSC. So again, the only way we're ever creating more BOM is when we're above peg and our boardroom's printing. That's it. So cross-chain doesn't change any of that.
Yeah, we've also had a couple of questions that we'll probably get to later, but since we're talking about it right now, it might be a good time. But that we should emphasize that is the only way that you just said. That's the only way we're printing new BOM. So the xBomb promo is also not printing new BOM. So some people may have the wrong idea about that.
There was a question. Yeah. So actually one of the questions, which I guess I'll just address that now. One of the questions was about, the xBomb promo and all the extra xBomb created because of the promo. The thing is, nobody can mint BOM. Like, we're not minting any new BOM. Just the protocol wallet had a buildup of excess BOM from previous prints, and that BOM, instead of being utilized for other purposes, is being utilized for the xBomb promo. So that's existing BOM that the wallet already had. that's being sent into the xBomb contract to did I say X? So it's additional bomb that the protocol wallet had that's being sent to the xBomb contract, so that all the xBomb stakers, their xBomb becomes worth additional bomb. So that's what the promo is.
Yeah,
So
it's not being printed or minted newly. It's bomb that
exactly.
already existed.
Yes, it's not being magic out of thin air.
Right. Yeah. We
Yeah.
don't do that kind of thing. So it's
Exactly.
impossible, first of all. But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody in chat has any questions about Crosschain or how it's going to impact us, or protocols that we're looking to get involved with, or anything along those lines, feel free to ask those before we move on.
Can you give us any hints about, like, are we going to start on what chain we're going to start on first, or where we should? Because I'm looking forward to like building communities with different forks, because it's just such a good community that I think is a good.
Yeah, so I mean, like Aurora, we have a lot of, well, the marketing firm that we're working with is deeply, deeply connected on Aurora. So they've already got, they can get us an incentivized pool on day one that we have the chain active, or the bridge active. They also have just as deep a ties with lending borrowing protocols. That's like, they're still working very closely with the protocol, I believe. So Aurora is like, we're done. We're good to go there. The other ones we'll be able to get, but we just have to, kind of proactively seek them ourselves. So, I mean, the marketing team's going to help us with that as well. But yeah, like those aren't going to be like day one incentivized farms. But I mean, nothing's stopping us from setting up our own pools on those other chains. And, I know how we can get our pair on Taro on Phantom. So, we can have a bomb wrap BTC on Taro.
Yeah, because there's a lot of trapped liquidity over on Phantom for whatever reason.
There's a lot of what?
Maybe like trapped liquidity that's not really doing anything on Phantom that we can utilize with Bomb.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of potential with Bitcoin. Like, I mean, just for example, looking at this Synapse bridge, they've got a bunch of US stable coins. They got OHM. They got their own token. They got ETH somewhere in here. I thought they had ETH. Maybe they don't. But yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to bridge Bitcoin or a Bitcoin, pegged asset, we're going to be the option, right? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, great target market there. Awesome.
All right, we got a question in the chat. Let's see. Does cross-chain imply dilution of rewards allocation, since NShare is used to generate the pool APYs? Is NShare going?
Yeah, he means B shares. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think his question saying what will the rewards be for these other farms on different cross chains.
Okay. Yeah, good question.
That's what he's getting at, I think.
Yeah, so the B share rewards are strictly, right now they're just paying out on our two farms, Bomb BTCB and B share BNB. That's not going to change. So when we say we're getting a partnership for an incentivized farm, that means that they're going to incentivize it. So I mean, if you guys are really familiar with BSC, it's the equivalent of like us getting on PancakeSwap, them having a farm and a vault on PancakeSwap that's paying Cake, for example, right? So that's the equivalent. We'll get that on the other chains. So, so just as an example, if we got on SpookySwap and we got a farm there that was incentivized, it would be paying Boo. So it's not going to impact any of our current rewards. It's going to be additional rewards for our users on those other chains, and it's going to bring big buy power to Bomb.
And we won't be supplying those rewards. It will be incentivized by that pool on that chain. So it's a win-win for us.
And for them, they get more action on their, on their platform. So.
Well, yeah, that's why they incentivize it, right? But yeah, it's doubly good for us, I think, because it's not like, for example, like with Beefy or Auto Farm, like we have to provide the tokens for the rewards for when we're doing a boosted campaign with them. But it's not like that kind of thing, right? It's like they're providing the rewards, so it's nothing we have to provide.
Yeah, so and again, we're going to partner up with any and every protocol that we can for the exposure. Some of them are going to bring more benefits than others. So when we're getting these incentivized farms and other chains, it's like massively beneficial, because we're not only getting the exposure, but we're also getting everyone that participates in that is getting rewarded from that protocol that we partnered with. So we're not paying for those rewards, but we get all the benefits of if we had paid for the rewards. So.
Yeah, we basically get no downsides, no negatives, because we're not even having to sell our B shares as we normally do.
Yep,
You know, we're selling, say it's cake, for example. That's nothing to do with us. So
exactly.
we're just we're winning,
Yep,
basically.
and then once we have the incentivized farms, what we could do is then we could reach out to Beefy and all these other guys that run the auto compounders, and we can get on the auto compounders on the other chains so that they can auto compound those incentivized farms, and that's even more exposure because there's going to be guys that only check Beefy for the chains that they use, right?
Yeah.
So and
Yeah,
same
the
with
auto
other auto
compounding
compounders.
things are brilliant. Yep.
And that just
Yeah.
applies with what you just said as well. Is that since we're not using our reward token, the auto compounder is just going to be auto selling that Dex's reward token to be buying our assets. So
It doesn't affect us at
Nice.
all, which is fantastic. All we get
Yeah.
is the buy pressure on bomb for people, who want to put it into these auto farms.
yep, that's pretty exciting stuff, and that will be available to be done very, very soon. Anybody else in the community have any questions about that? Oh, here we got one right now. So then if you receive, say, FTM on Phantom as reward, if you wanted to buy more bomb, you would have to bring back the reward to BSC to buy more bomb. No, so at the very, very, very beginning, there's not going to be much liquidity on these other chains. So I say that's true at the very, very beginning, but I mean, the purpose of the incentivized farm is basically so that we can get a lot of liquidity going there. So once we have that liquidity there, you'll be able to, for example, like an auto compounder, if the reward was Phantom on the Phantom chain, the auto compounder would just sell that Phantom into bomb and wrapped Bitcoin on Phantom and use that to, increase the size of the position. So any of those auto compounders, or even if you're if you're compounding yourself, you'd likely stay on the same chain unless the pricing was way off. But I'm sure arbitrage bots will handle keeping the prices in line once they're made aware of what we're doing. I'm not sure how aggressive those cross-chain arbitrage bots are, but I'm 100% sure it could be automated. So I'm sure they're quite efficient.
It'll happen eventually, sooner rather than later, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and if not, it's something that we could implement too. 'Cause I mean, it's money to be made for the protocol then, just to keep the prices in line. Buy bomb here, sell bomb there, just to keep all the prices in line.
Yeah, because it's usually it's someone taking advantage of that opportunity. And if we can do it ourselves, why not?
I mean, I don't really look at it as taking advantage. Like, I mean, it's kind of it's just a money making opportunity, and it's something that kind of actually benefits. Like, it gives you it doesn't for example, you can do your swap on any AMM and probably get a rate that's very, very similar. If it wasn't for arbitrage bots, you'd have to shop around between 10 different AMMs before you did a swap to make sure you're getting a decent rate, right? So they're doing a huge service at the same time, but they do make some money at it, or else they wouldn't do it in the first place. But
True.
right. That's why, like, some of the newer automated market makers, just to switch the topic for a second here, I was reading a little bit about Solidly and, been reading about Balancer V2 and like how some of these more advanced automated market makers work. It's really interesting, actually, like some of what I read, like, for example, like if you're doing a swap, it can do a swap against numerous separate pools. And I think it was with Solidly that the goal was that by the time that your trade, so after your trade is done executing, there will be no arbitrage opportunity possible because the ending rate of that asset will be identical across every pool that your trade touched. So I don't know if that makes sense or if I explained that well, but like it's going to do the right size trade on each of the pools that would have that asset to, for one, get the user the best rate possible, but at the same time have the price of the assets after your transaction completes or confirms whatever, all of those assets are going to be at the exact same price. So basically there is zero arbitrage opportunity there because asset prices are in line. So that's pretty cool. A little bit more advanced than your typical pancake swap, basic Uniswap V2 fork. But yeah, some pretty exciting stuff.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, if nobody has any questions about Crosschain in chat, I guess we could move on to some of the community questions that we recorded. Where should we start?
So start with a nice easy one here from Orson J from Discord. He was just saying about could we possibly add a notice about the xBomb promo on the bomb BTCB vault page, so everybody would be seeing it and it'll be popping up for them.
Yep, that could definitely be done. We'd probably just put it as like a header on the whole site, and then just keep it there
Something
until
that really stands out. Yeah, that would be.
Because like I
That'd be
don't
amazing.
feel too many people go to the individual vault page. Like I feel most people do most of their interactions right from like the home page of bomb.farm. Well, at least that's how I do it. But I guess maybe some people click into the actual vault where like I may as well just show people what I'm talking about. It's like I usually just interact with stuff like right here, but some people I guess click this and then start interacting with it. Like, but yeah, like we would probably just put the notice like right here, so it's just kind of just on every single page. Yeah, no, we can definitely do that. All right, let's move on.
I think that's a good idea. All right.
Just to make it obvious, go for it, Riley.
Okay, yeah, what we got next here is from Satoshi.f on Discord. Is there any reason we can't clone the Pancake Swap lottery bomb as tickets with 80% rewards and 20% burn? This creates buy pressure for bomb and a burn to reduce supply. We could even add an option for the various rewards on different farms to be auto-converted into tickets, creating an auto burn. It also lets people get involved with bomb that don't need to understand the protocol. They can just buy lotto tickets. If regulations are a concern, there are places you can register to get around it. Are you
I
familiar
mean,
with Pancake Swap Lottery? Because I am not.
yeah, I mean, I haven't participated, but I've looked at it. Anybody else have any feedback on that before I give my answer?
No, you go ahead. I think some sort of lottery system would be beneficial, but I think you know more than we do about it.
I mean, there's so many different things that we can implement, and it's just a matter of like, does this fit in with our current ecosystem? Is this the most important thing for us to build right now or implement? There's a lot of factors that go into deciding what we should implement and what we shouldn't. Well, I mean, for one, if it's in line with our general goals, how beneficial it would be to peg in the short term and long term. Is this something that our user base wants and would like to use, or it really just comes down to like the benefit versus the, I guess the dev time or just how well it fits into our ecosystem. In terms of this specific idea, I mean, while I don't think it would do any harm, and it's also likely not very difficult at all to implement.
Yep.
It doesn't really fit in with what we're doing, but I don't know. And I'm not sure how much buy pressure would really generate. Like we have a lot of bomb holders as is. Those would probably be the primary participants. Like I don't think that's a big enough, we've had a lot of ideas that would be something that costs bomb to do. And it's like, well, is this something that would drive bomb purchases? If it is, like, okay, great idea. Let's do it. Right. If it's something where like, do I want to participate in a bomb lottery when there's 100 other ones out there? If I'm a new user that doesn't own any bomb, probably not. Right. I'm not coming to bomb to do their lottery. That's the same as every other lottery out there. Right.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
So if it's not driving new buys, then it's not benefiting us at all, really. That's my take on it. I don't know if you guys have any other opinions.
I think that's pretty much spot on. All new ideas like this, they need to be, one, well thought out, two, fit in with our current ecosystem, and three, be long term as well. They need to work in the future, not just be a temporary fix, just to try and fix when peg sort of thing. You want ideas which will last months, years, and be sustainable.
Agree 100%. I mean, although in our current peg situation, like a good enough idea that was short term that would, greatly improve peg in the short term is something I would be open to thinking about or, possibly implementing. But, but yeah, like I just don't think, I don't think this is the idea. We got a question in chat. When bomb energy drink?
Very important question. I'm sat with my monster thinking like this should be a bomb can, really.
I got a Rockstar here, so.
I know. I saw you sipping it earlier.
So the answer to that is sometime in the future. All right, let's move on.
Very important question. What's the next one here? We've got somebody asking, who is this? Big Ben from Discord asking about some sort of integration into a node sort of system. Like you've heard of Thor nodes, Atlas nodes, Strong nodes, the big,
Yeah,
the big boy,
so it's a
the
pretty
OG.
lengthy question. So
It's a
actually,
very lengthy question. Yep.
I can just put this on my screen for now. So the question is basically just, it's pretty much just explaining nodes and an idea of how we could implement nodes potentially in Bomb. I did kind of address this question in Discord. Well, for one, I'm not overly familiar with nodes. I mean, I've had people kind of explain the basics to me. And just before, even after I got it explained to me, I just didn't really see how it fit. Or, there's a lot of different things we could implement that would kind of supplement Bomb, and this didn't seem to be like it would be the best choice if we were going to go that route. You guys are more familiar with nodes than me, so maybe somebody else is better to handle this one.
You got any insights to that, Riley, at all? Or
I'm actually with Aaron on this, and I'm not a big fan of nodes. I do know of them, but I don't really see the hype around nodes either. That's just me. Like I said, if anybody else has any
For
sort of
nodes, the
ideas,
reason, like I the first time I heard of nodes was on TikTok actually. And
classic?
the reason it's like, you're getting however much percent a day, but the thing is, once you buy this node, there's no way to like sell it. There's not. I'm saying like when you add like BTC liquidity, like you can't just. It doesn't stay as BTC liquidity. It turns into this like node token that you bought, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your money's been invested, and the only way you can get it out is by selling the token which is associated to the node. So it's just a lot of sell pressure. Unless
Yeah.
everybody keeps compounding and compounding,
I see.
eventually the price will go down because people will sell and take profits. It's just going to happen.
Actually, speaking of that, like let me just mention something that's kind of unrelated to nodes, but I know that like a lot of other projects, on BSC and on other networks, they have a lot of restrictions on their tokens that we don't have, and I think it's worth talking about that. Whether that be like,
for sure.
in order to earn on your tokens, you have to lock them up for 4 years, 2 years, a certain amount of time, 5 days, whatever it might be. Nothing that we do has any, well, with the exception of the boardroom, locking up B shares, but that's also going to soon be paying 6,000% APR as soon as we're out of the debt phase. So that's a little bit crazy. But yeah, that's besides the boardroom having a very minimal lockup and very minimal restrictions around when you can get your rewards and when you can pull out the B shares. Like nothing that we do has any kind of lockup. You're always free to do whatever you want with your investment. So, I feel like that's something that needs to be taken into consideration before you get into any project. If you need the funds, do you have access to them? Can you get them out without paying a withdrawal fee? We don't have any withdrawal fees, with the exception of a very, very small withdrawal fee on our auto vaults, which is just you'll make that in returns in, very little time anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, a couple of days and you've paid it. So
way less than that. It's only 0.1%, and we're paying like 0.5% a day. So like more like 10 minutes. Or one compound would cover it basically. And more. But yeah, so like we don't, and there's no deposit fees there, and none of our tokens have any kind of tax for a transfer, for a sale, for a buy, for anything like that. So it's some of these other projects you're down as soon as you get in, not with Bomb, right? So that's something that people should really take into consideration.
That's the question I've been asked in my DMs a few times: is why don't we implement some sort of buy tax or sell tax on the Bomb token? And I was trying to get across the point that we're trying to go for an ecosystem where there's not any of these lockups or any of these fees that are implemented when you buy or sell or transfer a token. It just sort of restricts what you can do, and it makes you feel a bit locked in. I don't know if you want to go a bit more on that.
Yeah, like I mean, like I just know that like just trying other projects out just to see what's out there, and I just get this horrible taste in my mouth after I just pay some I gotta pay a tax to buy, I gotta pay a tax to deposit somewhere, I gotta
the deposit fees even get distributed like to the devs or whoever, and they promise to do buybacks, but those are like
well, I think these tax-based tokens there's so many out there that have taxes that they all have their own setups for what they do with it. Like some of them are definitely automated in terms of distributing that stuff back. But either way, like just to know that like to buy a token and to put it to work, you already need to recover 30-40%, whatever you might have, whatever it might be, just to break even. It's like that's pretty crazy. So I think it's definitely worth mentioning that we'll never have anything of the sort.
Yeah. So going
think
on a
it's
bit from. Go on, carry on.
uh, sorry, yeah, I was going to say I think it's a bit of an outdated concept. It was something in the tokenomics, especially I think especially Binance Smart Chain, which is probably why we have a lot of questions about it because there's a lot of
Mhm.
tokens on BSC that have buy and sell tax, and yeah, just I think it was a cool idea at the time, but it's moved on now, and it's old news.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Like, I think it's an interesting idea for very certain things, but I think it's being used way too widespread, right? Like, I think when somebody thinks of a token and being able to transfer a token or buy a token or sell a token, like, I don't think like some people right away ask like, okay, what's the slippage I got to set? Because they're just so used to there being a tax, so they have to put the slippage real high to even be able to buy a token, right? And it's like
Yep.
that shouldn't be the normal thinking. Like, that's not crypto in my opinion. Like, I don't know. Like, it's
yeah.
like, it's like if I'm sending somebody a token, like I should just be able to send them a token and not have to worry about any of that.
Mm-hmm.
But-
Yeah, something
But
like
yeah.
Animal Farm pops to mind there. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but sometimes selling those, you got to set it to 10% slippage to sell a token, which
Yeah.
is just
Yeah, it must be
it's
the
just mental.
tax then. Yep.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Actually, that's one
9
cool
or
thing about
10%
Bogged.
tax on it.
Like for anybody that uses Bogged Finance, you could just hit that auto tax button, and then you could just set your slippage to your usual whatever you usually set it to, and then that'll just it'll adjust the parameters that it sends to allow for that to go through, even if there is a tax.
Yeah,
So,
Bog's
for any
awesome for
for any of you guys that love tax-based tokens, use Bogged.
that. There we go.
All right.
What's the next one? We could go on to one question from Mr. Crease. He was asking about if we could implement something such as the detonator for EMP.money. I believe you're familiar with it, Aaron.
I've looked like I'm familiar with the EMP Money. I've looked over the detonator. Yeah, I'm not in love with it, to be honest. You know, it's. I think there's other ways that we can have, everything that we've already explained is different ways that we're gonna have buy pressure on bomb, and get bomb on other chains for buy pressure, and I just think that's going the wrong direction from where we're trying to bring the entire ecosystem. So, I mean, would it help in the short term, something like that? Maybe. But I just think it's too big of a deviation from our roadmap and our long-term plans to implement something like that. What do you guys think about that?
I say to add to that, I had a quick look. I wasn't familiar with it at all, so I had a quick look at their white paper for it. And the things that stood out to me were, again, the buy-sell compounding tax is something we are trying to avoid. And also in there, it's rewarding the largest depositor each day, which is it's catering for the whales out there, which could be good, could be bad, probably bad.
It's the opposite of a whale tax.
Exactly. It's also got a referral system in there, which I think if it's not done correctly, a referral system, it could be bad, and it just seems a bit scammy, gimmicky. Trying to pile people into underneath your name, trying to pile them in. That's my input for it.
Yeah, referral systems. Not a huge fan. I'll just put it out there. Like I think if I go to my bank to get an investment, like people did before crypto, like everybody's, they base it on different criteria, but like how many people follow me on YouTube is not one of the criteria, right? That shouldn't impact how much money you make in a platform. It's an unfair advantage. I feel like, it's everybody should be on an even playing field. And I feel like that's not the case when there's referral systems, and, and then you have people, signing people up for the wrong reasons just because they want, more people on their system.
Monetary gain. Yep.
Yeah. So I want people to come onto Bomb because, we've experienced this being the first tomb fork. Like everybody in our community was telling every single person they knew about Bomb. And that's the best kind of referral system right there. Just people feel like they're doing, they're doing their friends a disservice by not telling them, because that's how great Bomb is. That's how we'll get referrals. Right. And like, that's, we want to keep building the ecosystem so that, that drive to want to tell other people about Bomb just keeps increasing. Right. And it's just something that you have to tell your buddies about.
Exactly. You tell them about Bomb BTCB, as you say, the best investment there is.
Not financial advice.
Not financial, of course. And a few months ago, I know you put some money into your girlfriend's account. I did the same for mine. I've just left it in there. It's been compounding away, and they're both looking great. She's up I think it's about maybe 30% or something like that right now, even with the price of bomb and Bitcoin going down.
Yep.
It's just
So
an insane investment.
it is, yeah. So I did mine around I think it was late December.
Yep.
And yeah, I just actually checked it last night. 8.6 thousand is at 15.5 now, and that's with just everything in bomb BTCB. So
Wow, there you go.
although, you know, I cheated a little bit because when I got that position, peg was a little bit low at the time, so bomb was cheaper than it should have been. So I mean, so it wouldn't be quite as high if you were to get in, you know, at this peg level.
I
But
say it's a smart investment. Even now, buying at what we now 0.82, 83, is
8.2
it?
or 8, let's see, 8.2.
Yes,
Yep.
you're buying Bitcoin at a discount, and every
Yep.
day it's increasing in value.
Yep.
It's a no-brainer for me, anyway.
Yep. And well, I mean, like our bomb BTCB in the auto vaults, that's it's already over doubled. So if you know, if you got in when we launched our auto vaults, your actual LP position is 110% bigger than it was at the beginning. The B share BNB auto vault, that doubled quite a while ago. That might be even close to tripling by now. So
Wow.
but that LP is also taking a bit of a hit, like value wise per LP, where the bomb BTCB hasn't. So
Yep.
bomb BTCB, it's where it's at.
And xBomb, don't forget that.
xBomb, yep.
And
Well, for right now, for the promo, yep. Well, I mean, xBomb in general is great, but
Will be, especially something to reiterate to people after we reach peg, and our rewards thing is going to end a couple of days after we reach peg for xBomb. That 20% of our prints will be going straight into xBomb, so it's a great place to hold your bomb rather than going back into our farming. Got a loading circle.
oh, it reconnected.
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Should be okay
Cool,
now.
back.
Yep,
I
there we
think
go.
we're back.
Sorry about
Awesome.
that, guys. My stream software got disconnected there. All right, so let's talk about xBomb briefly. So I'm on the xBomb page here. This APR that is shown here, APR for minted bomb. So just to let you guys know how this calculation is made, it's basically looking at how much bomb is in xBomb. It's looking at our very last print, the same as our boardroom does, and it looks at how many bomb were distributed from that print. And the xBomb contract is taking 20% of the bomb from that print, and you know, calculating the APR based on, you know, basically how much money's in xBomb, and basically, like, you know, if you put $1,000 in, this is what you would, you know, get over the course of a year. But it's important to know that this APR is based on our last print, which was a debt phase print. And also, I believe we were just barely over peg. So it was a small print that was also reduced to just 35%. So this APR, once we're out of debt, is going to be, you know, well over 3 times higher. Well, give, you know, if the amount of bomb here stays relatively similar. I mean, if we double the amount of bomb in here, of course, that's going to bring the APR down. But yeah, this number is going to go up like crazy. So, you know, while we're trying to get to that stable, you know, place of like 1.1, 1.2 peg, where we can like be really comfortable there, and we can start adding a lot more liquidity to the bomb BTCB pair, just to stabilize that price in that range. I mean, this is a great place to just buy bomb, park it there. You know, your bomb rewards from the boardroom, throw them here. Mm-hmm. You know, if we all just, as a community, if we all do this, right, and we just, you know, keep sell pressure on bomb low until we can stabilize above 1.1, you know, every protocol user is just going to be in great shape. You know, the protocol is going to be in great shape. You know, everyone's positions are going to be looking great. And, you know, and then from there, that's when people, you know, if they want to get back to farming, which may or may not be paying more than xBomb at that time, you know, that'd be a good time that you could, you know, start zapping some of your bomb into the auto vault and get back to farming.
Yeah, because we'll have the liquidity then, right? So it'll be...
Yeah, and we'll have that
won't be as
buffer above
damaging.
1.0. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
Awesome. I say, going on from what you just said there about reaching 1.10 peg, I've had a few DMs about this recently, and also the last question on our sheet we have here is somebody asking about if we can try and incentivize buying B bombs, so we can try and help peg that way as well as doing the xBomb promo. Is that something we've looked into? I believe you mentioned it before.
Yeah. So we did touch base on this in our team chat yesterday. I guess I can kind of reiterate the same thing I said there.
Did, yeah.
So before we came up with this xBomb promo that we have right now, the original plan actually did involve B bonds. But then after some more thinking, it kind of just made sense to make it an xBomb promo. Now, the issue I have right now with incentivizing B bonds is to get over peg in the short term. Right now, we just need buys on bomb. Pretty much, we have so much bomb locked up in xBomb that if any kind of B bond promotion, if it was lucrative enough that it made sense, if it was more lucrative than xBomb, people could just take their bomb out of xBomb and just go right over there, and it wouldn't generate buys. If it's not as lucrative as xBomb, then fresh bomb buys would probably still go to xBomb as opposed to the B bonds. So I don't like. I'd love to do something with the B bonds, but I just can't quite put my finger on how that would work in any way that would generate buy pressure for bomb. You know, like I was just gonna say, like I do, like, you know, we do really appreciate our our B bond holders, and you know, if, for those who have read the articles that I put out, you know, one of the many reasons I listed that we, you know, want to try and get over 1.1 peg, you know, before we start getting back into farming, is, you know, we want to, you know, we appreciate the B bond holders. We want them to be able to cash out with a bonus, get some premium on those purchases that some of them have been holding for quite a while. So, you know, we definitely appreciate the B bond holders, and you know, if we can think of any way to incentivize it that kind of makes sense and in a way that'll, you know, generate buy pressure on bomb, I'd definitely be open to hearing it, and we'll keep thinking about it.
Yeah, so one of the questions that somebody DM'd me about was trying to get a sort of a pool going for single staking of B bonds and using some of our daily money from the bond protocol to put into it. And I was trying to explain that we've already got that shared out over so many different pools that we don't want to do it anymore. Do you want to add to that?
Well, so I think one of the ways that we could drive peg up short term potentially would be to have like a single asset stake that pays B share while we're waiting for the couple other things to develop and be production ready.
Their idea.
But I mean, I think it might make more sense to have that on xBomb than B bond, to be honest.
I guess they suggested it on B bond because even if people are in xBomb now and they take it and put it into B bonds, we'd be taking the bomb out of circulation, correct? So we'd be pushing the price of bomb up. Yeah, that was their point to me. I was trying to go back and forth with them about it.
Well, I mean, I think one thing that we really got to clarify for the community is that, you know, while it is 100% true, when you take B bonds, you are taking bomb out of circulation. But the way that this helps peg is when people are buying that bomb to put into B bond. We have a lot of bomb holders. We have a lot of people that are in xBomb that are bomb holders, right?
Yeah,
so
it's near 1 million now, isn't it? I think xBomb.
Yeah, 958,000. Yep.
Oof, wow.
So those bomb can all go into B bonds potentially. That's not going to improve peg. It's going to, yeah, sure, our circulation is going to go down, our supply is going to go down, but it's not taking, you know, it's not doing any of the things that actually drive peg up itself.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, we need to incentivize the buys on bomb. And that's, you know, kind of the tricky thing. But
yeah, I mean, I think it's a similar predicament to the other suggestion about the lottery, right? It's not going to bring any outside money in. The only thing it would do is perhaps like convert some of the money that we already have in the system to something else. But we need new buy pressure on bomb, right? So
yeah,
it doesn't really solve that problem.
Yeah, which is all going to be coming with everything we're adding, you know, borrowing and lending, new UI, marketing. And I say also, there's a question in chat about that right now. Aside from use cases, is any marketing scheduled? Do you expect an influx of new users short term this week / next week?
Yeah, so I mean, part of the reason that I guess people haven't seen the results of the marketing, I guess, is that, you know, our main core website there's really like a very small target market that is going to know what to do when they get there and be able to utilize it. And, you know, most of those people have already seen it, or they're familiar with it, or they're APR chasers where, you know, they don't care about the risk of probably getting rugged and they'll go somewhere with a higher APR anyways. So it's, you know, it's difficult to market this site in its current state. So we do have a lot going on with marketing. We do have our new UI is being actively worked on every single day. Once the new UI is available, it's going to be so much easier for our, you know, for any new user to get involved that, you know, we can definitely push that really hard with marketing. We're doing a bunch of stuff with marketing for BTC single stake as well. So that's going to start picking up some steam and generate us some bomb buy pressure with that. So that's going on now, or it's getting started any day now. So.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain to somebody else as well, was the fact that a lot of our marketing is behind the scenes. It can't always
all
be.
of it.
It's not like a banner ad being plastered everywhere.
Yep.
So you're not going to see it like that. That's what I was trying to get across, because they were saying there's no marketing being done. I said there's a lot of marketing being done. You just can't see it.
Yep.
That's all.
We got another
What's
question
that?
there.
Yeah, somebody put in chat. Let's just use a single staking bomb earning B share. We need to be at peg.
Yeah, I mean it's something that, you know, we definitely could do. I mean, like we've mentioned a few times, you know, we have many catalysts that are, you know, either here or right around the corner. You know, by this time next week, we're gonna have a lot of great stuff available that's gonna, you know, boost peg. But yeah, I do agree. The reason that we have the xBomb promo going on right now and the whole campaign to regain peg is because, you know, we understand the importance of being at peg. You know what? Maybe what I'll do, actually, if I can get some feedback from everybody that's watching now, would you guys like to see a vote? If we propose a vote about doing a single stake on bomb just to get peg short term while we're waiting for the other things to get released? I guess while we wait for them to write, if you guys want to chime in with any feedback on that.
What sort of rewards would you be thinking with that, or something you need to go away as a team and look into?
No. So I mean, I could give rough ideas now. So
Go for it.
So on my screen right now, I got the 3 farms that we have. Although the bomb B share, as most of you are aware, I'm sure, the rewards have been cut off, so it's at 0%. So I was just thinking, you know, adding, well, kind of in line with the question, like adding a B share paying single asset incentivized farm, I guess you'd call it. So, you know, basically just deposit xBomb or bomb and then receive B share. The only slight issue I have with that is, you know, other protocols have done that and they've had success doing that, but I think that we've had a lot of that same success, but without having to do a B share incentivized farm. Like we basically did that with xBomb, right? So like a lot of our users that are in bomb BTCB, they followed the game plan that was proposed, and, you know, we're all, you know, the vast majority of us are doing our thing, you know, what we need to do in order to get to peg, and we've, you know, pulled our liquidity from the bomb BTCB pair, and we've, you know, bought bomb, and we're in xBomb. So if the majority of our community has already done those actions and they've already bought as much bomb as they're comfortable buying, then introducing an additional reward for bomb holders, I'm not sure how much extra buy pressure that's going to generate. That's my only concern.
Yeah, I think without new money coming in, it'll be people breaking their, say, bomb BTCB LPs and putting them into a single staking bomb pool. That would obviously increase the buy pressure on bomb. But otherwise, now we need more money in.
I mean, that's fine if people do that, right? Because that's how we were able to, you know, boost peg from 0.5.
Yeah.
But my concern is that people that were willing to do that already did that for xBomb, because the xBomb promotion is quite great as well, right? So, I mean, I guess another thing that I was thinking is that, you know, just this xBomb promo was not intended to go on forever, right? So it
can't.
Yeah. So I want to interject here related to the marketing schedule. Like, we should also mention that the Auto Farm partnership, right? We're going to launch our Bomb BTCB vault with Auto Farm on Friday, most likely. We'll have to confirm that, but next Friday, the 18th, for sure, we're going to be starting the boosted vault campaign with them. So that will be a pretty targeted marketing campaign that's going to start from next Friday, and it should bring a lot of new users and new money in. So I think that's pretty important to highlight. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be huge for us. So that's the first vault launching Friday, and then the incentivized one a week later. as well. We're going to be doing a Twitter space with
Yeah.
with them, so that'll bring some
Yeah,
good awareness.
next Friday the 18th, our Twitter space will be with the Auto Farm community as well. So if you can make it, definitely check that out. It should be pretty good.
That'd be awesome. Lots of comments in chat at the moment saying yes to having a vote to doing the bomb staking. Somebody's put there what percentage of rewards. So my understanding is it would come from the 163 B share per day we're getting paid in the protocol. A portion of that would be paid to the bomb single stake. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
sorry. I was reading the questions there. So the 163 B shares, like right now, the ratio of distribution is 70% to bomb BTCB, 30% to B share BNB.
Yeah.
So I think typically when this is done, like they heavily incentivize the single asset, just for that big rush to get back to peg, right? So I'm not sure what numbers make sense exactly. Like it might make sense for us to do something like, well, actually this is good to discuss now, because one of the issues with voting on things is like, I've had this issue before when proposing votes. It's like there's really two votes at play here. It's like, do we have a new pool or a new incentivized farm for single asset stake? And then the second set is like, well, what should the rewards be? And you can't really combine those into one vote because it dilutes the answers kind of. So if, like, for example, if you have a vote that says like, no, I don't want that new incentivized farm, and then the other answers are like, yes, I want it, but I want it at this rate, or I want it at this rate, or I want it at this rate, then it's like, well, you might have no win that vote just because the yeses are split up between three answers, right? So you kind of have to split those up, into two separate votes.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just takes a bit longer because you need to allow people time to be able to vote. They might miss it for a day. They might be.
So what I've done in the past is to prevent having to have two votes. I've kind of thought among myself and talked with the team to figure out, okay, what are the ideal numbers that should be associated with that farm? And then we just do a simple one proposal. Do we do this or not? If we do it, this is how we want to do it. Right. Yeah. So it's like, that it doesn't give the community as much flexibility, but it still gives them the ability to say, yeah, I like the team's idea, let's go ahead with it, or no, I don't like the team's idea. So what do you guys think about that?
I think that's spot. I was just reading somebody's comment there. Sorry, just changing slightly. The single asset state needs to be auto compounded to work effectively. I think that's probably quite important. We can bang that on the auto vault page, and the same page you've got up there on the left. So the manual farm, I call that one, and the auto farm. We could everybody's single staking on there. Everybody
saw how quick we were able to deploy this new vault. So
exactly, yeah.
It might actually, it would probably prevent us from being able to. Well, it wouldn't prevent us, but it would be additional work if we were to do the xBomb single asset stake, because then an auto compound would have an extra, thing it needs to do in order to auto compound, right? So it's.
I think putting on the page you're on there on the auto vault page, if we had a bomb single stake farm on there with X amount of percent going to it per day from our 163 B share, we could make it a very attractive percentage compared to the rest of them. And also when there's no money in there, the APR will be mental as well. So
I guess what I was saying though is that like, I think it would be like really cool if people could, single asset stake xBomb instead of bomb, because then they're like, their xBomb is growing in value due to xBomb always going up. And then they're also getting B shares on the xBomb. And it's kind of like a double lockup, right? So I think that would be ideal if we're going to do the single asset staking. But like the only thing I was saying is that the auto vault itself would be a little bit more intricate because, when you're collecting the rewards, you got to take those rewards and convert the B share into bomb. And then that bomb has to be deposited into the contract and then receive xBomb. And then that has to go back to all the vault participants. So it's just one extra small step for the auto vault. Not much extra work, but I would prefer to do it that way.
Yeah, if you do something like that, just because obviously we know the xBomb promo can't go forever, because you said, I think...
Yeah, it's coming out of the protocol wallet.
Like $40,000 a day or something it was costing the protocol wallet, which we've got money built up in there, which is fine for now. But if we could get it from the daily B share payout, then it wouldn't be affecting it at all. And we could also still incentivize people to buy and hold just a single stake, hopefully XBomb, like you said.
Yeah, and it
That
could
would
be
be
even be a
ideal.
combination, right? Like, so it's like if we drop
Yeah,
the
double
daily,
promo would be lovely. Yeah.
like if we drop the XBomb daily rate down to like 0.5% instead of 1%, now the protocol wallet can go on for twice as long before it runs dry on bomb.
Exactly.
And then we can
Yeah.
supplement that with the B shares. So
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I mean, I guess the huge advantage of the single asset stake of bomb that pays in B shares is that, yeah, the auto compounder can automatically sell down those B shares for additional bomb without our users having to do anything. Like the XBomb promo is great, but that bomb is not being bought on the open market. It's coming from the protocol wallet, right? So it's not improving the price of bomb. It's just incentivizing others to buy bomb, right?
Yeah, just like the initial buy to put the XBomb in there. It's not like you
Exactly.
said, auto compounding, and every so often it's compounding and buying
I
itself again.
think the stream is lagging for you guys.
I'm
Okay,
not sure.
it's
Mine's
good.
got about a 15-second delay for some reason. It's great.
Sorry, it's
All
good
right.
now.
Let's
Yeah, all good.
see. Going with just bomb might incentivize buying new bomb, as some might want to keep. Actually, that's a good point. So we got a comment here. I'll just read that a little more clearly because I was kind of reading to myself there. Going with just bomb might incentivize buying new bomb, as some might want to keep their XBomb. Yeah, so that actually is a great point because we have the XBomb promo going on. So if you want to stay participated in that and keep receiving that, well, then you've got to keep those bomb and XBomb. You can't also put those bomb into the single asset stake. So that's actually quite interesting. And then that also makes the auto compounder very, very easy to deploy because we already have pre-built templates for that.
It's probably the way to go.
That's a good point, Trevor. That's a very good point.
That is a great point.
Awesome.
I like it.
Yeah. You like it, you're in. Right.
Bullish.
Right.
You wouldn't want, so I got another comment here. You wouldn't want people to swap out of XBomb to get more bomb if the aim is to get to peg, I would guess. Yeah, we wouldn't want them to swap out of XBomb, but on the other hand, that's, they're giving up those rewards if they swap out of XBomb. So yeah, I think it definitely could.
It doesn't hurt the protocol, right, to swap out of XBomb. That doesn't apply sell pressure. So.
Yeah, and if anything, it lets the protocol do the promotion for longer because it's less costly.
Yeah, exactly.
Bullish on Stuart.
I just put bullish on Trev. So. Also a bit further up, what was this? Paul put, so about the percentages he put, so let's say 50% to the bomb single stake and then 35 and 15% for the other two, auto compound only for the single staking. Would that be the sort of numbers you'd be looking at if you did do this, or what have you got in mind?
Those numbers seem like they'd be pretty effective.
It would apply a lot of buying pressure on bomb for sure.
Yeah, I think and we can sustain it for however long we need in theory.
Yeah,
can't we? There's no limit with the protocol because it's not coming from that wallet. It's
exactly.
From the actual. Yeah,
I think those numbers do make pretty good sense. The auto compound only for singles, like we're not going to take auto compounding out of the other farms. Like we've had those available forever. We're not going to remove that.
I think they mean that there wouldn't be a manual farm option for single stake. I think that's what he's getting at there.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, unless we just choose not to put it on the website. I mean, the only way the auto compounder works is if the actual farm is there, like exists.
Yeah.
On the smart contract.
So I think you might have to have both. Or maybe you could just redirect people from the manual farm to the compounding one, just saying, do it here instead, sort of thing.
Yeah, we could
just have it not visible on the site.
We could just have it. Yeah, we could just have it not visible. Yep.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, and we know who you are, Trevor.
We know who you are. Any more questions about what we've been talking about? I got a few more on my sheet here, but they're not related at all. So I just wanted to see if anybody else had any other questions regarding it, or if you guys have got anything more to put forward.
I think I've said everything I wanted to say, covered everything. I had a good chat with you guys and with the community. Happy to answer questions if anybody has any, but If not,
Coming up
I
on an
think-
hour, so yeah.
An hour? That's we can do more than that, boys. I'm joking.
Oh, we could go all day, but you know.
I could. Easy peasy.
We'll run a
Just give me some food,
24-hour
I'll be
stream
fine.
next week. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Marathon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
marathon stream.
I heard Aaron say if we hold peg for a few days, he'd do a 24-hour stream, but that's what he told
you know
me
what?
in
That-
confidence.
there's an idea.
There you go. See,
Yeah, we could do that.
I would do something
We
crazy
we
like
could
that.
Take turns. Yeah.
We could, we could do that as a community type thing. We were talking about playing games with the community. That we could make that part of that, just as a sort of fun community event one day.
Yeah, I know Aaron's a bit of a Rocket League man as well, so we could watch and play that for 24 hours.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a bunch of everything. Just do some
It could
work
be,
and do some all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Programming.
Aaron at Game of Rocket League and get a bomber as a reward. Little promo. Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Well, if anybody has any,
sorry, if you could beat Aaron, then you get some bomb as a reward.
oh, Maverick can destroy me.
We
Mav
won't let him play. It's all right.
Yeah, he's banned from the challenge.
He's bad. You get a five goal head start on him.
No, but if anybody has any ideas like that for challenges that we could do, where I don't mind doing some extreme stuff like a 24-hour stream, if that's gonna help us get to peg. So open to ideas if anybody has any.
We'll have a camera behind Aaron, just with dev working meme every so often being posted in chat. So I haven't seen any more questions about what we're talking about. So just a couple more I've got on my sheet here. One from Chubby Pickle on Discord. It's about xBomb. So he's put, so if we leverage our LP for more LP, that will put more buy pressure on bomb, correct? Question mark. Is there going to be an xBomb leverage? That's the more important question, I think.
All right, so the first thing I'll say is that I'd highly recommend everyone to really read the article that I posted in depth, because I did go into extreme detail about the mechanics of it and how it works. So I will answer this. So the first part is, so if we leverage our LP for more LP, will that put more buy pressure on bomb? So the process of leveraging your LP, the simple short answer is no, but there's indirect buy pressure potentially, right? So if you're leveraging your LP, if you're a new user, for one, you had to buy bomb in the first place to create that LP. So, so just in general, if a new person is getting involved in bomb because of the ability to leverage, then yeah, that's buy pressure on bomb, because they had to buy bomb to get into the LP.
Yep.
If somebody wants to single stake bomb because they're a new user and they don't want to do anything that they don't quite understand yet, and they want to supply bomb to our protocol for others to be able to use while leveraging, that's buy pressure on bomb for them to buy that bomb to lend it. So that's indirect buy pressure there as well. But the actual process of leveraging, it is simply borrowing bomb and BTCB that others have already supplied to allow you to increase your LP position and exposure and farming rewards. So that actual transaction and act itself does not put any buy pressure. Just everything related to it should be putting buy pressure, but it depends on, if everybody involved already owns a lot of bomb, there's going to be no additional buy pressure. But again, I'm just talking about one user here. If you're talking about, all of our users, overall, yes, it's going to be putting a lot of buy pressure on bomb. xBomb leverage, that, again, if you read in depth how the mechanics work, that just doesn't even make sense. That's, we're using LPs as collateral. xBomb has nothing to do with the LPs. It's not involved in the LPs. It's basically, xBomb would be great for using as collateral on Abracadabra Money, for example. That's, we're going to try and get a partnership with them going once TVL gets a little bit higher. That's a perfect use case for using xBomb as collateral to be able to, get Magic Internet Money, which is basically US stablecoin. Then you could swap that for, whatever you guys want. So that would be
more xBomb.
Yeah, that's going to be insane. We'll definitely get that going as soon as we can. That's going to be probably the extent of, lending, borrowing related to xBomb.
Awesome. I think that covered it perfectly. And also, there's one last question, a bit of a long one. We've already covered a lot of this. I just want you to sort of briefly skim over it. It's it's on the 39th row
Okay.
on our sheet there. It's from Wouter.
Okay,
It's
so
just
I
a bit
brought
of a
that up
long
on my
one.
screen. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Aaron, bombs being printed, and I don't mind since I'm good staked at the xBomb pool, but what I personally see happens is as follows. Bomb keeps printing, which means the price of bomb is inflating. So just real quick, we already addressed that. We're not printing any new bomb. So now he says when the xBomb won't give 1%, then people will sell, and with the few liquidity we have, we can go to zero really fast. I really think we need to go over 1.0 peg, let B share rise, and let more people buy bomb because of the high APR. Will you do something which will bring the peg to 1.0 and over? And when will you do this? I think we can't continue the 1% xBomb for much longer since this also brings big risk to the protocol. TLDR, I'm getting a bit worried. And we still did not reach peg. Please make us reach peg. Nevertheless, I love your work and your awesome team have been doing.
I love the last 2 lines. They're great.
So, I mean, there's a couple things I can say to this. For one, I've already addressed we're not printing any new bomb. So bomb is not inflating. But you are correct. We can't continue to do this forever because the bomb is coming from the protocol wallet and it does not have unlimited bomb. And also I want to address that, while liquidity is lower, I wouldn't quite call it fee liquidity. I mean, I think we still have more liquidity than the vast majority of tomb forks out there. We still have almost $3 million of liquidity in that pair. Last I saw, like 2.7 or something like that. So we do still have a fair bit of liquidity there. It's not the 6.5 million it was before, but it's still quite high. And this is something that before, we put a lot of thought before we put it, we release a promotion or anything really that we do. We put a lot of thought into it about what's the best case scenario, what's the worst case scenario, how do we handle this situation, and that's why we often change plans, or not change plans, but we just won't even come out with a plan because we found a problem or even a potential problem, right? So I was well aware of the risks involved with this, and that's why the whole way that the promotion was designed was kind of to mitigate those risks, and have it be something that's sustainable. So while I do agree that, we do need to get over peg, I know that we have a lot of things coming up very soon that are going to help us get over peg. And, we had a lot of traction right away with the xBomb promo. And, unfortunately we had a couple sellers come in and kind of knock us down a little bit. But I mean, firstly, there's nothing I can directly do to increase peg except for buy bomb. And I'm already buying thousands of dollars of bomb every day. So that's all I can personally do right any given second to improve peg, and I'm doing it as much as I humanly can. So so when you say improve peg, Aaron, well, okay. I'm trying. But yeah, I mean, all I can really do is be building things that are gonna be attractive to users and be lucrative to users and be safe for users, and I've been doing that, and we're going to continue doing that, and we're going to, we care a lot about the short-term peg. We care even more about the long-term peg. We will never risk our long-term potential for a short-term solution. So that's, it's important to know that. But having said that, we do know how important peg is, and we'll do what's needed to get us there and keep everybody happy.
I want to interject that getting to peg is also it's not a 100% on Aaron or on the dev or on the team. It's a community effort, right? So it's something we can all participate in, and that whether that be buying bomb when we're under peg or just spreading the word and getting people to join us. So it's not solely on Aaron. So that's something we can all work for together.
Yeah, so that's a good point there. Even if you haven't got the funds or you don't want to put any more money into POM, you've already put in, what you've allocated yourself. You can always go and tell your friends, your family, and get them involved.
Tweet about it. Tweet.
Tweet about it. Yeah.
Speaking of that, I've seen a lot of our guys in the community that have been really active on Twitter. A lot of our team has been a lot more active on Twitter. Great job, team, but community as well. I see a lot of you guys just posting constantly, and I just want to let you guys know that it's really appreciated, and seeing more traffic to the site, some more buzz around bomb. So you guys are doing great with that, and keep up that excellent work there.
Yeah, a couple messages in chat there. I joined late, but I saw you mention you had a trick up your sleeve still, Aaron. Is there any chance of a hint?
Okay, so I didn't mention that it was the trick up my sleeve, but we did talk about it, and that's like potentially having like a single stake bomb or xBomb to receive B share. So
Yeah, if you go back a little bit in the video, you'll see a whole section on that. We've covered it, and we like the idea, and we're gonna look into it more.
we'll probably, we'll probably put out a proposal today, and I think after discussing, among ourselves and among the community, and that's with us in the live stream, I think it does make sense to probably do it with bomb and not xBomb, just so that I think that might drive more bomb buy pressure because people might not want to give up those xBomb rewards. So yeah, and instead of like
certainly implies it.
yeah, and instead of like lowering rewards across the board, but having like 2 sets of rewards hit that same base of users or that same type of investment, I'd prefer to have something that's probably not going to last as long, but that has like a much higher chance of success. So to say, like, for example, keep the xBomb rewards at what they're at now and do something really juicy for the single stake on bomb, it's like when that people have a decision, right? It's like, they're both so good. Which one do I use? I better buy more bomb, right? And like, so I'd rather be way more aggressive on it and have it like more likely to be done in a day or two, as opposed to, having it be something that could last for a month, but that is not going to maybe generate the buy pressure. Because we have so many catalysts coming up that, it doesn't really, getting us to peg in 2 weeks is not going to be that beneficial, because I feel like we'll be there well before 2 weeks, even without any of this stuff. So we're trying to really just make people happy in the short term, and also to get, above peg for some of the partnerships that we need to get where they require us to be at peg.
Yeah. So that's another question I've had as well, is these partnerships which require us to be over peg. Have you got any names of those that you can give out at all, or are they under lock and key for now?
The huge one is Beefy.
Huge one's Beefy. Okay, cool.
So like Beefy, we didn't announce it to anybody, and it's a good thing that we didn't, because they ended up pulling the plug the last second. But like we're fully good to go on Beefy. We even sent them the bonus tokens that they were going to use for their boosted system or whatever it was. And last second they said, hey, oh, by the way, you guys got to be at peg. So
oh wow, okay, that's nice of them.
Yeah, they did not mention it at all as a requirement in the talks up to that point. So it's a little bit.
But luckily, we didn't mention to the community, because we might have had some people pretty disappointed. But yeah, so that's the big one that we can get going as soon as we're at peg, and the kind of eyes that's going to get on the project, and they're going to tweet about it to their hundreds of thousands of followers, or however many they have, quite a few, I'm sure.
A lot.
Yeah, that's going to generate some great buzz. So it's, we just really got to band together, get this thing above peg, let us stay there for a day or two, let us get into Beefy, and then we're all golden, right? That's all that's got to happen. And, it'll happen one way or the other, but, we can make it happen quicker if we all participate as a team, and, we just all go after that same goal together.
Also, we shouldn't discount the fact that AutoFarm has like 90,000 followers on their Twitter, and they'll be tweeting us as well when we.
Oh yeah, that's going to be huge too. Yeah, I just didn't mention, because I was just answering the question about the peg question.
Oh
but
yeah,
AutoFarm's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to compare with the Twitter followers, because they're not really a small player either, so it's gonna be pretty big, I hope.
Yeah, that's something we've got to bear in mind as well. From where we are now to peg, I'm not sure the exact numbers, but it's not that much.
It's not.
It's not that much money.
Might be like $100,000 maybe. Somewhere in that
a few
range.
investors, we're done. We're over. It's not like some people have been saying, like, oh, we're going downhill. We're not really. It's really not very far away.
Yeah, because when we started the xBomb promo, like, it was probably, just to throw out a random number, I wouldn't be surprised if it was $1 million of buying that it would have required, or maybe more, right? So like right now we're like I'd say roughly $100,000 of buy pressure away, something along those lines. So really close.
And that's something as well we should thank the community a lot for, is the fact that we've gone from, we went from 0.52 peg, I believe. We went all the way up to 1, just from this xBomb promo, which is an insane effort by everybody, and we're so thankful for that.
And it was within like 24 hours too, I think. But it's also
massive.
why it's something that we should look at, right? Because that is how easy and how quickly it can happen, right? So don't panic, if we're at 0.5 or something like that. It's not the end of the world, and we can get, like, it's not that much money required, right? So when we get these new partnerships, like, that's all it takes, right? So it's not a huge deal.
Exactly. Yeah, somebody who bought down at when we released the promo at 0.52, To this point now, they've got what, a 30% increase in price plus all the rewards. They're up loads. You literally couldn't have lost money.
I think it's up over 50%, right? Because if you got in at 0.5 and you're
I'm not sure. Not sure.
0.7
the old
0.75 would be 50. So
Yeah. It's. I mean, if they sold
that's a
at
good
peg,
point.
which you know what I mean, that's like 100% gain, which
Yeah.
is why I believe some people sold at peg, right? I mean, they got 100% gain and they doubled up and got out.
Yeah.
You know, it's not smart, but it is what it is, and people are going to do that. So
Yeah, people take profits. It's just natural.
Yep. Well, we'll keep doing our thing. We'll keep building, and those that the loyal community members that stick with us, they're the ones that are gonna reap the benefits from all this hard work, and we appreciate you guys, and let's keep on doing it.
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we've covered everything. Somebody in chat just said, "Yeah, I broke my LP 0.56," so that person's happy.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've said it before. Like a lot of my best buys were like when I bought Bomb, when I was just helping to pump up the price because it had dropped a bit, and if you look at some of those trades, like I'm not really a seller, but if I look at the price that I paid versus what it's at now, it's a huge difference. So when you believe in the protocol and we got great things going on, buying below peg is a no-brainer, really.
Yeah,
so
I think that's
You're
something
buying a
that
discount.
I really want to reinforce with people. It's like, if you believe in us and the protocol and we're putting in the work, it's, this isn't a pump and dump. It's not a rug pull. We're working on this every single day, and we will be, for as long as it's here, and as long as you guys are here. And so it's when we're below peg, that's when you buy, right? Because we're going to be here. And so it's at a discount, you buy. That's how it works. Like, you just don't think that it's going to zero, right? Because we're still working on it. We're here every day. So yeah, that's when you buy. And as you see, like, that's how you make profit. And that's how the whole system works, right? You buy when it's cheap and then you sell when it's high.
Exactly. Huge profits. Everybody who's got into this recent promo.
100%. Yeah, and I mean, they're up. I mean, up over 50% on the investment. Not to mention the 1% xBomb that's been getting in there daily. So that's huge as well.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, let's close up. Been a little over an hour now.
Exactly.
That's good.
And what's that? A recent comment there, which is very important, I think, is if you haven't gotten all your friends to buy Bomb, then are you really their friend? It's very true.
Great point.
I've been trying to tell my friends to get into Bomb, but they're like, oh yeah, okay, I'll check it out. But then like they go and get wrecked somewhere else, and it's they ask me like, can you help me out? I'm like, well, I tried to help you out, but you got
you got to just do it for them. See, the people that I've gotten in where I just get their auto vault set up for them, and I just tell them, hey, just click on this button and this is how you check what you're at. They're doing great.
Just
don't tell them how to get out.
Exactly. I did that for my girlfriend. I put the money in there and said, there's your money. It's going to grow. Just leave it.
Yep.
It's done.
Yep. I told mine at 200,000, you can take out 20,000. This from putting in 8.5.
Got you, generous person.
I mean, it's her. She could do whatever she wants, but just trying to give her that advice to not, panic and want to get out when things drop a little bit. And, I'm sure like, for anybody, if they had full control over that investment and seen it, hit 14, drop to 11, go back to 14, now 15.5, like there's a really good chance that people would have panicked at some point and pulled that out at 11, right? And it's now at its all-time high, and it's going to, keep hitting new all-time highs just, because of Bitcoin, because of our peg, because of the rewards and auto compounding. So.
And kind of they've been shaking people down in Bitcoin like so many times that it like traumatizes the people. They think we're in a bear market, and that's when they pump it. So
yeah, it's an emotional roller coaster. That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, guys. You guys that joined me on the stream today, I really had a lot of fun with you guys here. So I mean, definitely, if you guys want to join on future streams, I'd love to have you. Unless I'm doing like an AMA with someone specific, but besides that, yeah, I'd love to have you guys back on in the future. And
sure, it was great.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Yeah, enjoy helping out.
Yeah, and for all the community that participated, thanks, and hope to see you guys Friday on the Twitter space and next week and all our socials and everything. So thanks for coming.
Like and subscribe, everybody.
Yep.
This is all for entertainment only,
guys.
Not financial advice.
For sure.
As always.
Throw that in.
As always.
Have a great day, everyone.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Peace.